Happy snow day, everybody out there in comic book world. This is Dylan Lang, and I am the host of the Comic Hall. Not brand new. I've been doing this for over a year now. My show where I sit here and discuss what new comics I bought this week, show you some of the artwork, covers, a little bit of story behind the creators, a little bit of stories behind it. Figured during the snow day would be the perfect time, since last night I was going to do it, but the computer decided it was going to update, and then they were going to update again this morning. But the update this morning was much quicker than last night. So figure I'd get this out of the way today because I've got a busy day today. My daughter's birthday party is today, and I will be doing another episode of Dylan Knows tonight with Jerry Fletcher. We'll be doing a top 10 Star Wars characters, so you might want to check out that. That's at 10 p.m., so it's literally almost a little less than 12 hours from now. So thank you, one viewer. Welcome to the Dylan Knows Comic Hall Snow Day. So we're going to talk about comics, and there's a lot this week, first week of December, and we got a lot of stuff. So sit back, relax, curl up with your coffee, hot cocoa, whatever, as the snow falls. Mostly here, basically on the eastern seaboard, like from Florida up to Maine, it's like snowing everywhere. And, Navy beat Army and Ravens beat the Steelers. That's it for now. We're going to talk comics now. That's why you're here. Like my new Voltron shirt I got. Yep, my new Voltron shirt I got. I like it. Here we go. As always, we start with DC Comics. And first up, we have Batman number 36, which to me, I will probably be doing, I think we're going to be doing a end of the year, best of the year Comic Hall show. And I'll tell you, this guy is going to be in the running for probably best series right now. Tom King is, I think, my new favorite writer between Vision, Mr. Miracle, and this. Batman Elmer Fudd, for that matter, too. He has been knocking out of the park, and this Batman is unlike any other Batman you've ever seen before, and that's why it's so good. In this case, for those who don't know, spoiler alert a little bit, Batman has proposed to Catwoman and she's accepted, and now they're doing the whole, we need to talk to we need to announce the engagement, so on and so forth, to their friends. So this is the first part of a two-part storyline where Batman and Superman go on a double date with Superman with Lois and Batman with Selina. So, and also want you to notice the new cover, wrong side. The new cover standard. This is going to be, there's no longer going to be a Rebirth banner at the top. This is the new cover standard. You'll see on all the DC stuff, and not all of them. There's one or two in there that aren't, but there's the bat symbol to show this is a Batman one. Anyway, this is written by Tom King, written by Clayton Mann, and I think it's Clayton Mann. Hold on, let me get it's C-Man. It's Clay Mann and Seth Mann. Clay Mann is the penciler, and Clay Mann and Seth Mann did the inking, and it's a fun little story about Batman and Catwoman prepping to meet Superman and Lois, and it's adorable. It's a realistic portrayal of this relationship. I think it's a fantastic thing they're doing here. Thank you, Selina. Anyway, I can't wait for next week's issue, or 2 weeks issue, where they actually sit down and have their double date. So it should be very good. So get Batman, get all the trades, collect Batman, absolutely. The annual last week was phenomenal. Batman Elmer Fudd was phenomenal. And again, I'll talk about this by the end of the year. This book does not have the new cover thing, which is surprising because limited series are having it also. When I first heard this announcement, I was not that enthusiastic about it, but as I've been looking at it and reading it, I've actually gotten to like it a lot better. It's Batman White Knight number 3. It's basically an alternate reality where Batman is the bad guy and the Joker, who's now cured of his insanity, is the good guy. And it's written and drawn by Sean Murphy. His artwork is phenomenal. He's doing a great job with the artwork, and he's telling a very good adult grown-up story. On par, I would say, with Dark Knight Returns. I think it's a phenomenal story, and they're doing a great job in interacting with the emotions and mixing things up as well. And I will be the first to admit that I made a mistake, and I actually am enjoying this series immensely. And it's only 8 issues, so hopefully all 8 will continue to high standard it is. So Batman White Knight number 3. So you can get caught on that pretty quickly too, because most comic book stores will have a few months worth of their books up on the shelf before they go in the back issue bin. So you might be able to catch up. I highly recommend that. So mea culpa. Batman White Knight is actually better than I thought it would be. So thank you, Sean Murphy, for not telling me what a jerk I am. I stopped buying this book because I wasn't that excited about it, but then they have a new creative team, and I was like, damn it, another book I got to get. This is Justice League number 34. Again, see the new cover profile. This introduces Christopher Priest as the writer, who has been knocking out of the park at Deathstroke and is a phenomenal writer. And Pete Woods, who is one of those artists that is just so consistent and you can always count on. And they're doing their Justice League story. And they're the new creative team. So I cannot wait to see where this goes. And I'm very excited to see it. So I figured may as well just start off fresh here, and add another book to my list. But with Jimmy Palmiotti and Amanda Conner leaving, Harley Quinn, this might take the place of it because it'll just swap the price tags. They're both $2.99 since they're both bi-weekly. So another book that's in the running for best series of the year is Superman. Again, trade dress. It's written by Peter Tomasi and Patrick Gleason. Doug Mahnke does the artwork on this, and who's the inker? Mendoza. I just gotta get his full name though. I think it's at the end. Jamie Mendoza and Doug Mahnke inkers. So basically, this ends the Superman on Apokolips, where, spoiler alert, Superman becomes the new Lord of Apokolips because Darkseid has now been transformed into an infant. Lex thought he could take over and run it, but it is actually Superman who is the new boss of Apokolips. So that's kind of a status quo change, and it should be interesting to see how this goes in the future. Still a good book. Bombshells United number 7, continuing the digital-only series that is being reprinted in comics now. I've read the first series, was about 50 plus issues long. They had about 2 stories in each one, so basically about 100 stories. And it's basically another alternate reality where during World War II, the women superheroes, are more prominent and help fight in the war effort, and they've been all over the place. Marguerite Bennett is the writer, and Richard Ortiz is the artist of this one. I don't know if he did both stories, so let me just see. But it's a wonderful story. I've read the first, I think I saw 2 trades ago, the first 3 trades of the original series, and I figured when they restarted it over again that I would collect the comics, so I wouldn't have to wait for the trade on it. So I've been doing that. I don't want to link my phone. Stupid new update. So yeah, I think it's just one big story, I guess. Richard Ortiz did the whole thing. So Bombshells United, go out and get the Bombshells trades. There's about 5 of them, I think, right now. I highly recommend you checking those out as well because they are phenomenal. I know I use that word a lot, but it's true. It's a great story, and also particularly if you're a woman who wants strong role models, or a young girl wants strong role, or just want to read good stories, because Marguerite Bennett is killing it on that, and the artwork is very nice to look at. And it's a really interesting look on the characters. Their costume designs are really wild. 1940s-esque. It's really neat. Another good series coming out of Rebirth is Green Lanterns. Green Lanterns number 36. Again, new cover dress. Bombshells had one also. Tim Seeley's a new writer on this, and Ronan Cliquet is a new artist. So I haven't read the new versions yet. And there, I just lost my last viewer. Sorry. I haven't read the new, I haven't read any of Tim Seeley's stuff yet, but I like the original run on Green Lanterns, and we'll continue to read it because I think it's good. I like Tim Seeley as well. Next up, we have Black Lightning number 2. This is in advance of the Black Lightning TV show. It's going to be on the CW. But the reason why I picked this up, see, here's the limited series. This is limited. This is a 6-issue limited series, but they also have the dress on it. The reason why I picked this up is because Tony Isabella is the creator of Black Lightning, and he comes back to write this miniseries. We know it's a cash grab to try to get people's attention that when the Black Lightning TV show comes out, and it's going to be a hit, I promise you that. The CW is banking that they'll go to a local comic book store. They'll have a comic, or in this case, by the time Black Lightning comes out, it might be about halfway through the series. I think it's come out in January. So you'll have about 3 or 4 issues of this book out, so they can pick that up, pick up the trade, whatever. But it's great to have Tony Isabella coming back. It's always fun when the creators of these characters come back and write them. Dan Jurgens is another example. He just brought Booster Gold into Action Comics, and he's always been Booster's booster, as it were. And I wouldn't want anybody else to do it. But Tony Isabella, Clayton Henry, doing the artwork, which is amazing. I almost said phenomenal. But another really good superhero, a little bit different. And again, you can't go wrong when Tony Isabella is the creator of Black Lightning, and he comes back to his character that he created. So very nice. Speaking of Christopher Priest, here's newest issue of Deathstroke. Deathstroke number 26. Again, cover dress. Yeah, I won't point it out. I won't point it out anymore. Y'all get it now, right? Christopher Priest, Diogenes Nieves is the penciler, and Jason Paz is the inker. So it's nice artwork, and Christopher Priest continues to write the heck out of the story. And that's why I'm picking up the Justice League, because Christopher Priest, can't go wrong with him. And his Defiance team. So pretty good. All right. Next up, a book I was kind of disappointed in, which surprisingly, because I love the character, and maybe it's because the artist writer on it is old school 70s. When he was in the 70s, he was phenomenal, but now he's, I don't know what's going on with it. Deadman number 2. I was excited when Deadman number 1 came out, and I read it, and afterwards I was like, what the hell did I just read? It was scattershot. It was all over the place. I couldn't tell what was going on. The art was a little scratchy. I mean, Neil Adams was a great artist in the 70s, and he still has a good art style, but it's really hard to follow now, particularly when he's writing it as well. But I'm going to keep up with it because I love Deadman, and I just, it's a 6-issue miniseries. I figured I can swing it. But I mean, the artwork looks okay, but the storyline itself is so confusing that I don't know what exactly is going on, and I don't know if this is intentional on his part, and then he'll wrap it all up at the end. That's why I'll hold on to it. But right now, it is just one of the most scattershot, hard to read, hard to fathom stories that's going on, and I can't tell what is happening. So I'm just a little disappointed, but it is Deadman, and I will continue to buy it. My wife agreed. She read it, and it was like she wasn't exactly sure what she had read before. She had known Deadman from Justice League Dark when she read that, when that was still out. Going from meh to a lot of fun, Harley and Ivy Meet Betty and Veronica. This has been a fun series. Jimmy Palmiotti, writer. No, I'm sorry. I thought it was Jimmy Palmiotti because it's Harley and Ivy. No, it's Paul Dini and Mark Andreyko, with art by Laura Braga and Adriana Mella. Harley and Ivy together versus Betty and Veronica is fantastic. It's a fun story. And I don't know what else to say about it. It's just, you have to read it for yourself. It is absolutely hysterical and just enjoyable. Next up, this is the cover. I'm already calling it. This is the cover of the week. Jetsons number 2. Just amazing cover. I love it. I love what Jimmy Palmiotti is actually doing with the series, and the artwork by what's his name? Pierre Brito. So it's, again, more of an adult sort of take on the Jetsons, but it's definitely a different take on it, which is what DC was trying to do with these Hanna-Barbera updated series. So I will give them full props on that. The first issue was really fun, and the second one looks just as much fun. And I got to just show this cover again. This is an absolutely amazing cover, and I absolutely love it. So that's the cover of the week. No ifs, ands, or buts, no more. Well, what about this one? No, that's cover of the week. I wasn't going to buy this because it's $10. But I am a sucker for holiday specials. This is the 2017 DC Holiday Special. They always do these every year, and I like the snowflake on there. And what's great about it is it's a bunch of little stories featuring your favorite DC heroes around the holidays, written and drawn by some of the best writers and artists out there. Jeff Lemire, Giuseppe Camuncoli, and Cam Smith are doing the opening and closing, the prologue and the epilogue, and then Clark's talking to John Constantine, and then we go into the next story, which is a Batman story written by Denny O'Neil, who hasn't written Batman in a while, with art by Steve Epting, which is amazing. So you get a nice little Batman story with great artwork, and Denny O'Neil as a return to the Batman storyline. Ooh, look at that, Steve Epting Batman. Oof, at Christmas time. That is a gorgeous piece. Next up, we have Green Arrow, Black Canary, written by Marguerite Scott and Phil Hester, who had drawn Green Arrow a while ago, where it's Green Arrow and Black Canary dressed up as Santa and Mrs. Claus. And it's always fun to see Phil Hester artwork because it's so interesting. Here's an interesting take. Sergeant Rock's Christmas Story, written by the man himself, Tom King, with art by the man himself, Francesco Francavilla. So you get a nice little Sergeant Rock, gloomy, dark story set around the holidays. Haven't seen Sergeant Rock in a while. Next up, we have Flash, written by Joshua Williamson with art by Neil Googe. Neil Googe, I haven't seen his art for a while. It's always fun to see his stuff as well. And it's a very Christmassy story. Next up, we also have Deathstroke in a Wilson Family Christmas. It's written by Christopher Priest with art by Tom Grummett and Scott Hanna, which is Tom Grummett and Scott Hanna used to draw Deathstroke, I think, but their artwork is always clean and awesome to look at. And Christopher Priest is writing it. Then we have The Atomic Knight, written by Dan Didio with art by Matthew Clark and Sean Parsons. So again, they're taking some other characters that you might not have heard of before or in a long time and setting them in these sort of locales. Next up, we have Teen Titans, written by Shea Fontana with art by Otto Schmidt. Their Christmas story as well. Then we have Swamp Thing, written by Scott Bryan Wilson with art by Nick Klein. I've never heard of before, but it's fun to see, new creative people, see what they can do. Wonder Woman and Batman, written by Greg Rucka with art by Bilquis Evely, which, having Batman and Wonder Woman together, because Greg Rucka always liked them together, have them working together in this story is great. And that's it, really. So and then they do an encore of Denny O'Neil. I think it was Frank Miller. Or was it Frank Miller? Yeah, I think it's Frank Miller. And I think it's Frank Miller and Neil Adams did the Gotham, which is one they always do. It's where Batman is patrolling Gotham City, but everyone that he thinks everything that's going to be crimes on Christmas Eve turn out not to be crimes. So good. So it's well worth it. You get all those creators, you get all those stories, all those characters, and it's wonderful. That's it for DC. So for Marvel, we have, I wasn't going to buy this one either, but I figured I want to try to keep up with Spider-Man, and they're doing a crossover with this, so I had to get the first part of the storyline. Venom Inc. Alpha, the new storyline that's going to cross through Amazing Spider-Man and Venom. This is the setup for it. It's written by Dan Slott and Mike Costa with art by Ryan Stegman. Plus, Ryan Stegman's artwork is very nice. And get to see some things. So we'll read it, and I'll see if it's going to be worth my time. I'm going to get it anyway because I'm going to be getting the Amazing Spider-Man book to keep up with my stuff. So I figured I may as well just do it. And I wanted to pull out another main reasons why I bought it was because I love this picture of the Anti-Venom. So next up we have the Hawkeye Legacy story, where Hawkeye and Hawkeye team up together. Issue number 13, written by Kelly Thompson, with art by Leonardo Romero. So you get to see the two of them working together. I love the artwork. It's fun to see these two working together again. Oh, excuse me. Next up, we have from Star Wars, we've got Darth Vader #9, Charles Soule, Giuseppe Camuncoli, and Danielle Orlandini. Good book to pick up since next Friday, Last Jedi comes out. This is basically Darth Vader Year 1. So this story takes place right after Revenge of the Sith, right after he did the no, like the Frankenstein type of style. But you know, Charles Soule's doing a wonderful job writing it, and the artwork is amazing, which is funny because I've always was kind of meh about Giuseppe Camuncoli's artwork, but then I started noticing his work on Darth Vader, and it's like he's been a whole different artist, and I love it. So that's it for Marvel. Independence, it is, the first 3 are Ladies' Night. Again, Dynamite's been doing a great job with their female characters, and I figure why not get Barbarella, #1. It's written by Mike Carey with art by Keenan Yara. However, leafing through it, it is a bit more mature. I guess the movie itself was mature, so there is some nudity and sex in it, and a lot of suggestive stuff. I'm not going to show you the nudity because I don't want to lose my license on YouTube, but there is nudity and sex and women's prisons, and it's a sci-fi adventure, but you know, it gets the essence of who Barbarella is, and that's exactly what it is. So if you're interested in that type of stuff, go ahead and check it out, but Dynamite's been doing a great job with their female characters. That being said, here's another one, Red Sonja. They're doing a great job with that. Amy Chu, writer, Carlos Gomez, artist rather. And again, I like the fact that they're keeping Red Sonja in present day, and seeing her react to stuff in the present day is, in fact, amazing. So, and the artwork is nice and clean, and you have a female writer on Red Sonja. So it's fantastic. Ooh. Oh, main cover by, okay. It said, you know, women, you know, Xena's coming up from Dynamite. Legendary Red Sonja's coming up from Dynamite. We've got the Martian lady, Dina Torres. And finally, the last Ladies' Night one is Witchblade. Witchblade #1, brand new Witchblade, brand new Witchblade character, brand new Witchblade story. I like Witchblade. It's written by a woman, Caitlin Kitteridge, with art by Roberta Ingranata. So I figured it's Witchblade. I like Witchblade. Let's see. Let's get in on the ground floor and see if it's just as good as the previous series, which has been amazing, or was amazing. But it's a brand new Witchblade character, so that is good on that one. Shadow versus Batman, or Shadow and Batman from Dynamite #3. They did Batman and Shadow from DC, 6-issue miniseries, and this is them returning the favor. This is a pretty nice cover too. This will probably be the runner-up for cover of the week. It's written by Steve Orlando with art by Giovanni Timpano. But it's always fun to see the Shadow and Batman together because they are, you know, very similar. So, and then you get a little Damian action in this as well. So. There is Deja Thoris is the other female character. So, Rasputin #2, continuing the backstory of the Rasputin character that was in the first edition of Hellboy. It's written by Mike Mignola and Chris Roberson with art by Christopher Mitten. Again, you know, can't go wrong with it. It's a 5-issue miniseries. Artwork looks pretty nice, and it's got a Dead Man connection and kind of a historic connection too, because Rasputin was a real person. And finally, for the wife, I got her the newest issue of Power of the Dark Crystal #9, written by Simon Spurrier with art by Philip Kennedy. I'm sorry, Simon Spurrier and Philip Kennedy Johnson with art by Kelly and Nicole Matthews. So if you like the Dark Crystal and are anticipating the Netflix series, I think coming out next year, this is a good warm up for it. This is a 12-issue miniseries, got 3 more issues left. So check that out. All right, everybody, that's it for the Comic Call this week. Thanks for being patient. I would have done this last night, but my computer decided to update, so that's not the case. So it's the holiday season. Go to your local comic book store. There's probably lots of deals going on for the whole month of December. Pick up some trades, pick up some statues, toys, stuff like that. And go pick up some comics as well. That's just a handful of what's come out this week. As I said, I only collect what I collect. I only show what I collect. There are a ton of other books out that came out this week. You might find something that you enjoy. So come back here in 11 and a half hours for a brand new episode of Dylan Knows with Jerry Fletcher. We'll be going over our top 10 Star Wars characters. I'll be wearing a Star Wars shirt this time. Okay? See you guys later. Go to the comic book store, enjoy the snow, and be safe out there.